Good morning, friends. This is once again your friend, your president of the All India Cantonment Bungalow Cum Resident Owners Association, Mr. Raghavinder Das. I am approaching you after a gap of more than 6 months. I'm sorry for that, but actually I had catched up with COVID and I was hospitalized for more than 15 days. So 2 months it took me to recoup my strength back. Today we'll talk on a very important topic which is generally being rumored within the WhatsApps and presses, that the present regime of government is willing to abolish these cantonments or convert them into civil municipalities. It's all in the air. I've been getting WhatsApps from all over. I'm getting WhatsApps from even men in uniform which are not liking the idea of abolition of cantonments. Now let's understand what is it. What is this actually abolishment? Are we going to be converted into a civil municipality where the land rights are going to come to us? Where is this written? How can the government do this? That's the question. So friends, read your Rule 4 of Cantonment Act 2006 or even 1924. It very clearly reads that delimitation of the cantonment, whether area can be added or whether area can be subtracted as per the need. So under Rule 4, everything is going to happen. And simultaneously under Rule 2 of the Cantonment Land Administration Rules in 1937, that says this is the civil area. Now we have 4 civil areas in most of the cantonments, naming BI Bazaar, British Royal Infantry Bazaar, Royal Horse or the Topkhana Bazaar, and the Sadar Bazaar. Now, is the government planning to increase the civil area within the cantonment boundary pillars under Rule 46 of the Act 2006? Read that. Now, if it is delimiting under Rule 4, the big question of the government is, will it do it? Well, I expect this present regime can do anything, provided it understands the rule. Now, who are the people who have to make them understand? Is the representation. Now, if I ask you, and if people know, there were 2 delimitations which happened in India. One way back in 1957 by the Mehta Committee report, which was tabled in the parliament, and some 4 or 5 cantonments, civil areas were excised. I will just bring up Agra. There is an area called Nemnar there, which was excised. And similarly, in 1977, when my father was the vice president of the cantonment board and Bansi Lalji was the defense minister, Ambala's 3 bazaar areas, leaving Topkhana, were excised to the civil municipality. Now, what is the difference in these 2 accessions? When in 57 it was not done in complete. The land records of the mutations and everything was yet with the defense estate officer of those cantonments. But when it was done in Ambala, somehow the land records, along with the permissions of sale, purchase or mutation, or even getting your approvals of the plan, excised with the civil municipality, Ambala Sadar. But amazingly, I must tell you people that 57 or 77, neither the land was transferred. And if it was transferred, I as an individual, whether I was before 77 or before 57 was in the cantonment, land was not mine, I was just the owner of Malwa. Even after 1957 or 1977, the status was same. So friends, nothing got excised. Land never got transferred. So we are yet the owners of the Malwa only. Now, if we read Rule 2 of CLA and we club it with the Governor General orders, it very clearly reads that whenever accession will take place under Rule 4 of the Act 2006, it will only be done when a cantonment is holding surplus land or a land which is not required by the army in future. And it should be done incomplete. What does this word incomplete means? By the British, written in the Governor General Orders, and even written in the Cantonment Laws, Volume 1, page 303 of J.P. Mittal. I would read that para 6.2 for you, word by word, what actually it meant. While the word cantonment or military cantonment had initially the connotation of a place where the military and their families and followers were quartered, and no private occupant or land was allowed, specifically parad in that book, only buildings subsisted. It acquired a new meaning with the introduction of the Cantonment Act 1889, when municipalization was taken under. Now, this encompassed a local area which could have government and private land in the jurisdiction of the purpose of cantonment act. So, in 1889, J.P. Mittal says for the first time, private as well as government lands were encompassed within the cantonment boundary pillar. Thus, whenever cantonments have been delimited after 1889 within the newly incorporated areas, there could be and there are private lands. So, what is J.P. Mittal trying to say? That 1889 private lands merged within the cantonment boundary pillars? Or he's going back to the 1809 GGO. So there is some misconception which Mr. J.P. Mittal is trying to influx. He says earlier there is no private ended property which could be included within the cantonment boundary pillars as per an order of the Governor General of 30th October 1832. But he says whether that order or not has been rescinded, but he says by the Cantonment Act 1889, now private properties could be influxed within the cantonment. So there is something which is not going by the law. Friends, we need to remember, J.P. Mittal was a subordinate staff of the Ministry of Defence. Why would he write anything in these volume books which is in favor of us? We need to understand this. Now, I must come back to that same topic. How much representation do we have as associations and bungalow owners? 5 or 7 people of this association, when I was running this All India, with the present regime, only those 10 people are aware what the ministry is doing. Do we gather a mass orientation on this? We are mere spectators. What the Ministry of Defence, what the Government of India is doing, what policies are it making, we are never subjected to be a party to it. And people who represent through us as board members are actually ignorant to these laws at all. They don't know anything about this. So, what civil area, what GGO, what rule 2, what rule 4, it's not, nobody knows. Nobody knows where this surplus land policy has to be drafted from. So we are basically being fooled. There is going to be no receipt to us, whether we were with A, cantonment authorities, whether we were with B, the local authorities. Is land coming to us is a question. Or is the present regime only looking for money? Which is the basic mongering happening in the cantonments. That when I in 2016 sat down with some people up in the ministry and in the defense, they actually did not have the 1957 policy which I gave them. And they were so much excited about it that yes, Mr. Das, even bungalow areas can be converted into freehold by taking 10 times the collector rate or the circle rate. You'll be surprised, even today people are paying 10 times the circle rate in civil area, because this policy of 1957 is only being executed in the civil area. I have a complete list of more than 2,000 properties in cantonments of 57 which have been freeholded by the same policy of 1957. So is the government of the present regime looking to make money from these cantonments? So we bungalow owners will be subjected to a huge amount, 10 times square metered into. So let's say 4 acres of properties, multiplied by 4,800 square yards, divided by 9 into multiplied by how many acres, and then the collector rate, let's say 20,000 rupees. So we bungalow owners or we residents leaving Ambala, leaving some area of Agra, Danapur or Kasol, we must sit down, talk to each other. Even civil area people will be paying 10 times. Are we ready to pay for this? Now, let's say 70%, 80%, 100% want that, Mr. Das, let's get ourselves freehold first. Now, after this doing, will we be allowed to construct in these bungalows? Will we be allowed to commercialize these bungalows? Will the FARR, which the S.K. Bose committee has cited in its report, will we be allowed to construct more? Will we be allowed to go double story? After paying such an enormous amount, what is the relief which will travel to us? The relief which will travel to us will be only that when the government wants the bungalow to be resumed or your property in resident area, it will pay you under Land Acquisition Act. That's all. Friends, please understand this. So don't get excited. Don't harp on these policies. Let us actually materialize when the policy really comes forward to us. And let people who can make a difference to the making of this policy be educated by this video. Thank you very much. Once again, I would say we bungalow owners or we residents in these cantonments are old grants, never converted by the British into new grants. We were revenue-free grants. We are absolutely freehold properties. I am always available. You can call me 24 hours into 7. I expect the way people have been viewing my videos. I'm grateful to you all. Thank you very much.